Welcome to the Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany. On today's show, we have Fareedah Shaheed. She is the CEO and founder of Sekuva, an online security coaching business where she teaches business owners and mothers how to protect against hackers and online predators. She has been named Cybersecurity Personality of the Year 2020, and her work has been featured in Radio 1, TripWire, Infosecurity Magazine, Cisco, ABC6, and many more. Ultimately, she considers to be the best option in the world of cybersecurity as her simple process makes protecting your business and personal life easy. Let's welcome Fareedah.
Hey, Brittany, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. Our conversation today is going to be very important for everybody around the world, protecting themselves and their kids on the internet. I think this is a very important conversation that we need to have, because some people don't know things, and I'm sure you can give them some valuable information today. So before we get into the main questions, I would like to know what compelled you to choose this career path?
Really, I've always been interested in technology. I've always been interested in this field, but I changed my major. It was really first in college. I always knew I wanted to be in technology, or something to do with it, because it's just a changing field. It's impacting so many people's lives. But I had a conversation with my father, and he said, hey, there's this new field, new relative to old fields like, teacher, lawyer, doctor, engineer, those type of things. And I believe that your skill set and what you do and your passion really would align to it. So I did a lot of research, got into it. I got a job in security. I did threat intelligence and cybersecurity awareness. And that's when I really fell in love with it, because I realized that security was bigger than numbers. Security was bigger than computers. It was actually the people and the families and the small businesses and the background that, make the world go round, that really is benefiting the economy. We're raising the new generation. And so the technology and security affects us as human beings. It's not just ones and zeros. It's not just networking. It's not just, rocket science type things. It really is just about human connection and figuring out how can we as regular people figure out how we can keep our most loved and treasured things safe.
Great. Thank you for the information. According to a survey by the International Information System Security Certification Consortium, women working in cybersecurity currently account for about 24% overall workforce. Why do you think these numbers are so low?
Wow, there's so many different reasons why it's so low. It can go into three different things, really. One is that a lot of people aren't really exposed to cybersecurity. So it's kind of in relative, like I said before, it's a new field. That's number one. Number two, technology is not really talked about in many different ways. So many people don't know the different facets and access that you can have in cybersecurity. They really think that cybersecurity is just one track, like you have to be an ethical hacker, you have to code, and many people may not be interested in that. So they may not show different parts of it. They may not show that you can do certain things in engineering or architecture or policy or law or awareness. They don't really know that there's a wide range of things. So they're not exposed to it at a young age. And so the exposure is extremely important, because the more you expose young girls to things, they're more likely to go, you know what, I do want to code in cybersecurity. You know what, I do want to do policy in cybersecurity. But they're not really exposed to it until a little bit later in the career. So you do see a lot of people kind of go into cybersecurity after they've been in tech for a bit, or after they've been in a policy or a law in a bit, and then they hear about security and go, oh, you know what, I want to do that. But another thing is that the field isn't, once you get in, it doesn't keep you in sometimes. So a lot of people feel pushed out based off of certain policies in companies or certain ways that people go about things. And so instead of just getting women in the field, it's about retaining them in the field. So they may not have flexible work schedule. They may not have an HR that listens to them when they raise a complaint against someone else, or they may be just continuously looked down upon, or they may not get the promotion. So they decide, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't feel like dealing with this. I'm overworked. I may be underpaid or paid a really nice amount, because you get paid a nice amount of money, but at the same time, they may not feel valued as a human being. So there are different parts where you're getting a cutoff from women. You're not exposing them to the information. You're not showing them that they can be there. So you're not showing them access to mentors, information, the means to get certifications, to get jobs, to get an internship. And then once they get the job, how are you keeping them? Are you keeping them engaged? You include them. You're not just like, oh, there's a diverse candidate. Are they included? Do they feel a part of the team? Are you making sure that they feel comfortable versus, oh, they have to adapt to everything that you all are doing? So it's a lot of nuances where it can contribute to that 24%.
A lot of people access the internet with little to no protection on their computer or mobile device. How concerned do you think people should be about the security on the internet?
They should be really, really concerned. So similar to, I always say, look at, when I'm talking to my clients, I'm always saying, look at the way that you're raising your kids in the regular world and in the online world. When you raise your kids in the quote unquote regular world, you go, okay, I need to make sure they know not to talk to a stranger. I need to make sure that they have, they're a good human being. They're civil. They are nice. They're kind to their neighbors, kind to their friends, kind to themselves, right? Kind to their, understand how to have good platonic relationships, romantic relationships, get a good career, get a good job. We understand that we're raising kids in a certain manner, whatever values and morals that you have in your family. We have that mostly laid out. We talk to our partners if we have a partner, and we talk to them about, how we're going to raise our kid. But we don't do the same exact thing when it comes to the digital parenting and digital world. We have less conversations about that in the wide manner, meaning, okay, at what age are we going to allow this? At what age are we going to allow this? Are we researching X, Y, and Z platform? So it's really important, even as a small business as well, is that you're operating things in a way that is protecting yourself and protecting your space. So you know that when I go out there in the world, I'm giving the value that I'm supposed to be getting, but I'm also protecting what is mine. And you're not just putting it out there. And we understand that if we're going to go into business terms, we understand that with trademarking and patenting and copywriting, but you have to do the same thing with security. So it's extremely important because the outside world, we understand that there are robbers, there are thieves, there are people who mean bad, who are vile. We understand that, and we protect ourselves. Whether we have pepper spray or whatever self-defense that we have, we might learn karate. You learn self-defense mechanisms as a woman, especially, right? But you do that as a man as well. You have to do the same exact thing when it comes to technology, because there are thieves, there are robbers, there are predators out there online that their sole purpose, their sole way of making money in a living is actually by preying on people who don't understand technology. So they will raid your virtual house. They will take your access to things. So if you were to look at your house or your internet or your computer as a house, you can understand there are certain aspects inside of my house, my online account, my Facebook, my Instagram, my email, my finances, my 401k, my trading account, my kids' school's email address or portal, or those type of things as items inside of your house that you want to protect.
So give us some steps on how we can protect our kids on the internet.
The first thing is focus less on the technology and focus on the foundation thing. So the technology, I always say, is icing and cherry on the cake. The real cake, the real recipe is having a good communication with your child, understanding how they're using the online world. So it's the things that are not the tech that really make the security. So if your kid likes to game or they like to be on a certain platform, talk to them about that platform. I tell the people in my membership that what is important to your kids is important, period. So if your kid comes to you and they love a certain game, but you could care less about that game. You got 50 billion things. You're like, I just let you play that game to get you out of my face. But at the same time, if they're really happy about it, sit with them, let them talk to you about it. Let them show their joy or frustration with the game or social media. What it does is allows you to get brownie points and then allows you to get a glimpse into their world. If you have the time and you have 15 or 30 minutes in your day to sit down with them, you can sit down with them and watch them play the game or ask them questions about the game or play the game with them. And this not only gives you access to their world, but it shows you what in their world that you don't like. So say if they're playing a game and the chat comes up and you don't like that chat, you can Google and say, how do I disable this chat? Those are certain things that you would only know if you watch them play the game or if you sat with them. And you don't watch as I'm spectating. It's more an engaging type thing. So they feel like, oh, mom or dad is just watching me play the game. We're having fun together. But you know that, yes, we're having fun together and I want to see what's going on in this game. So it's those simple things that help you. And then researching. So if they're on a certain platform, even if there's a platform, virtual learning, that they have to use for school, research it. Go, okay, what security and privacy and parental controls can I enable on this particular platform that they're using for school, or they're using for gaming, or they're using for social media? And then have that conversation about if you even want them on certain games, if you ever want them on certain social medias. Are you going to wait until a certain age? That is the cake. The icing is parental controls. The icing is enabling certain things like disabling chat, or enabling screen time cutoffs, and those type of things. That's the icing on the cake.
Okay, that is great information. And we all need to take heed to that. It's that when our kids are on these games, we need to make sure we know what they're doing. Like, I have a 6-year-old and I have a 12-year-old, but the 6-year-old loves to be on Roblox. And I'm like, don't talk to anyone on Roblox. Like, I see chats, people want to say hi to her, and I'm like, no, don't speak to anyone, because I don't know who those people are. They could be a 50-year-old man trying to get information on you and where you are. You just never know. So us parents, we definitely need to be engaged and know what our kids are doing online. What are your thoughts on antivirus software? Are they sufficient to guarantee your safety on the internet?
Antivirus is good, but it's not enough. So it's a good thing to have, but it's kind of like having, I'm starting to see like a really good example. It's kind of like having a door, right? A door to your house. And it's great because it provides a barrier from the outside world to the inside world. But at the same time, you're still going to need additional locks. You're still going to need maybe some security things like a camera. You still may need other things to protect your house besides having just a door with a simple lock on it. You might need a double lock. You might need something else. So an antivirus does provide protection. It is but a base foundation level protection. Everyone should have it. You move on. But you want to make sure you're updating it. So some people leave their antivirus and they have not updated it in 6 months or a year or 5 years. And the way the antivirus works is it only is as good as this last update. So if we're going to take that door example, it only operates. So say if you don't update it for 6 months to 1 year, you have a loose door hinge in your antivirus, meaning the door doesn't really work. It might be standing up, but as soon as someone goes boop, and it's going to fall down. And so updating your antivirus is like fixing a loose door hinge to your house. You're tightening it so that you're making the door more secure. And then everything else you do in addition to the antivirus, other locks, makes the door in your house more secure. So you don't want to leave your door / antivirus just sitting there for 6 months. You want to tighten it up to make sure that it's really good and it closes well and no one can just touch it and then it falls. There are many other things you want to look at when it comes to online security. The biggest thing is your mindset and habits. Most people think, oh, it's antivirus. Oh, I don't even know what. In any technology, you think, oh, it's going to save me. But what really saves you is education and consistency in your habits.
Yes. So let's talk about your business. What inspired you to start your own company instead of working for a giant corporation?
Wow. I mean, so mental health, that's number one. Mental health is number one. And then number two is really like, how can I service and make an impact in the world? And I realized that being in a bubble, being in a building was not serving me and the people that I could impact in the biggest capacity. It just wasn't. And that's not true for everyone. A lot of people can make a big impact with these companies. And we know as we're on a platform today that someone in a corporation has to sit down and make, and this is a huge impact. But for me, my impact was not in the building. My impact was outside of the building. And I realized that pretty early on. And so I decided to create something that makes security easier because I didn't really see a lot of people talking about security in a way that we can understand and relate to. And I wanted to break down concepts and I wanted to have personal conversations and I wanted to create something bigger than what I was seeing in the world. And that's the biggest reason.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
What can businesses and families expect from your company if they choose to book a strategy session?
Yeah, so if you book a strategy session as a business owner, that is, you get to strategy sessions like 30 minutes and we talk about your business and what you want to have more secure in that aspect. And right now, the biggest focus is right on mothers and protecting kids online. So we have a membership called the Safe Kids Movement. And that is where mothers learn how to protect their kids online in bite-sized pieces. So the videos are between 1 to 5 minutes. We are currently bringing experts in different subjects like human trafficking and online security and safety, but from another point of view, based off of their own experiences, people who have been kidnapped online and their experiences of predatory behavior and online crime and those type of things. And also the real big goal is to build a community so that you have other mothers to turn to, so you have other mothers to who understand the struggle, but also get your questions answered. I believe that's the biggest thing, is getting your questions answered, figuring out how can I do X, Y, and Z? I'm having a problem with this. What is the best software for this? And that is really the benefit of the membership in the community. So the company offers those two aspects.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
As an expert in your field, what do you think cybersecurity's future, and how does your company fit into this projection?
Cybersecurity in the past, I mean, since the beginning until now, has been a lot of focus on the technology. And we've slowly seen a change in the past couple of years where we're focusing on the people. And I believe in the future is going to be way more focused on the people than we've ever seen before. Because like the stats don't lie, it's really 90% of the attacks are only possible if a human being allows it to happen. And it's not that we're blaming ourselves, so that we have to understand that with more education, we can protect our families. And so there's going to be a huge focus on the people aspect. And that's my entire business, is helping mothers protect their kids online. My entire business is the people aspect. My entire business is going into corporations and talking about how can the people make sure that their families and their work is secure. And so that's how I see us fitting there, because there's really no way around this topic.
Great. So what advice would you give to people who wish to venture into cybersecurity but fear it might be too difficult?
You choose your lane, right? So the cybersecurity umbrella is really big. It's kind of like being a doctor. Not everyone, just because if you're working on someone's brain, does not mean you have to know about somebody's foot. You know, forgive the layman term, right? You don't have to know everything. You need to know some basics about the human body, but your expertise and specialty is your expertise and specialty. So for me, my expertise is most definitely not cloud security. I'm not into cloud security. Do I know some resources that can have, allow you to have better, cloud security? Sure. But that's not my expertise. That's not my specialty. So don't look at one thing that someone's doing and go, I can't do that, so therefore I don't belong in the field. You just may not be interested in operating on someone's foot. That just may not be your thing. Right. So what you can do is look at the field and figure out, where do I fit in? So if you're wanting to be in the field, you clearly already can be in the field. Don't let someone say that because of what you're doing is less technical or more technical or in this area that it's not viable. You do want to do your research, though, because you want to make sure that what you're doing can actually get you a job or can actually make an impact. But understand that security is bigger than just one profession. It is many, many different things that you can do. So you can be a teacher and do security. That's what I do. When I teach the people I membership, that is teaching. That is, if you have an education background, you can decide, you know what? Let me go and teach people security because I know how to break down concepts. I can make a curriculum. I can make this. That would be amazing for schools, for you to make a curriculum as a teacher background. Maybe you're a psychologist or psychiatrist or social worker, and you understand how you can help children or families heal. So what you can do is you can do that for the digital age. You can give parents the resources to protect themselves online. And then if something traumatic happens, you can do a healing session or something like that, or traumatic, because being hacked or having online crime or predatory behavior is traumatic. So how can you take your expertise in that area and put it together? Maybe you're someone who comes from an engineering background, so you can do cybersecurity engineering. Maybe you're in architecture, you can do cybersecurity architecture. Maybe you're a lawyer, you can do policy and management and security and privacy. So the list goes. You're a project manager, you can manage projects for cybersecurity, internal products, services, companies. You can manage products for just many different things. So the list, as you can see, is endless. So whatever you do, you can put it with cybersecurity and make an impact. So don't believe that you don't belong in the field. Make the field, turn around for you.
Thank you so much for all that valuable information. Please let everyone know how they can connect with you and be a part of your business too.
Definitely. So if you would like to follow me on social media, you see down there, it's at Cyber Fareedah on all platforms, whether it is Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is Cyber Fareedah. And if you would like to see more about the membership and about protecting your kids online, you can go to safekidsmovement.com.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show and giving us all this valuable information that some of the stuff I didn't even know. So I've definitely learned, and I'll look into your business as well and see where you can help us out. And so everyone, thank you for tuning in today. Have a great Saturday. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.